competition trick, but also internally, to be able to do that, their cells have to be able to swell under all of that liquid. If we tried that, we'd probably burst like a water balloon.
Why not? We'll go home and then we'll have a
Our
look.
other arid animal is called the scimitar horned oryx, which is a type of sub-Saharan African antelope. And whilst they look very impressive, they also have a bit of an impressive comeback story. So
Look.
Werribee Zoo and all of Zoos Victoria are actually conservation, non-for-profit, governmentally organised zoos. What do all those words mean? Well, that means we look after animals both here at the zoo and we try to conserve life around the world as well. Now, these guys in Africa were considered extinct in the wild, and so we were part of a breeding program. There was a re-release of them, and only just a couple of years ago they were downgraded again, so they're now living back out in the wilds of Africa. It's a pretty amazing story. If you have more questions, I can answer them later. We'll also see our cheetah Kalinda on the left-hand side there. She's having a little kitty cat roll where the red dirt meets the green grass. The littlest of the big cats is the cheetah, and yes, they are just like a giant house cat.
দেখতে পাচ্ছেন?
Alrighty, bit of a water crossing here that can get a little bit bumpy. This is the connector point to our hippos, and if you look down the water on the left-hand side, you'll actually see the back of our hippo girls. That is Primrose as a mother and her two daughters Tulip and Lotus. If you haven't been on the African River Trail, definitely go and catch them sunbathing. And if you do manage to cruise past there, go and see if there is a pinkish coloured liquid coming out of their skin. It's actually called hippoceric acid, and it's a natural sunscreen that the hippos make in their skin, which also works as an antibacterial cream, which is pretty wild. Alright, from hippos into the waterhole and woodlands area. And the first animal I can see is actually hidden up here on the right hand side. In front of the bus through the fence line there, so everybody on the right hand side, just peek down this fence line, you will see the Nyala. Now, Nyala is another type of African antelope. These guys are more of a woodland species. So if you note the reddy fur and white stripes down the back, that actually helps them to camouflage under dappled sunlight of trees.
There it is, you see? Oh, that's more.
Also, a resident pelican having a swim around. I was over at Lions before and they were very, very interested in seeing the flight of this massive bird.
Wait. What happened? It's not a feeling. I'm not taking it. Look at Ursula. This is to stop Ursula. I'm calling Ursula.
So this is an Indian antelope. We call them black buck.
Look, it's
Why do we call them black buck? Because the buck is black. That's right. This boy's name is Artie. And as well as having that very impressive horn stack, he changes colour. So that's reserved only for the boys of the species. And essentially he's here hanging out with the rest of the ladies as a bit of a protector. So he kind of groups them all together. If they were to see a predatory item, he would give the call and they'd all run as a herd away from it. Now, what's interesting about that is Indian antelope's natural predators used to be cheetah until they weren't found on the Asian continent anymore. So they adapted life to be able to run very, very fast. Still not as fast as a cheetah, but still they clock them at about 80 to 90 kilometers an hour, which is pretty good for an antelope of that size, I think.
We have to find, to see.
Everybody say hi, Rhonda. Alrighty, we are going to cross a bridge. That bridge is over some water. That water is a river, and seeing as though we're in Werribee, it is the Werribee River. Because it's a very Australian thing to name things exactly what they are. Examples: Sydney Harbour Bridge, Green Tree Frog, Werribee River. Bit of a climb here as well, guys. Hang on to your hats. So if you said these were North American bison, you would be correct. If you said they were buffalo, you'd also be correct. They are commonly referred to as both, but compared to the other buffalo around the globe, very, very different formations. They're one of the bovine species where the females and the males both display horns. The major key difference between the boys and the girls is head size, believe it or not. So there is, at present, one boy amongst them. And if you didn't pick who he was, then just find the one who's having a bit of a wee. But yes, he has a big bull head. They usually say that the boys carry like 100 to 200 extra kilos than the females, and majority of that is in their shoulders and head. here, we'll head through the gates, but I would suggest keeping your eyes to the left-hand side of the vehicle. You'll start to see our lower savanna open up. Now we're actually heading into what is the biggest habitat here at Werribee Open Range Zoo.
I know.
So on a biological level, this lower savanna here would resemble where a lot of these African animals would come from. The science behind that is that once upon a time, Australia and Africa were connected continents. So Pangea, or Gondwana land it's been known as, when Africa and Australia were together many moons ago. But when the continents cracked apart and drifted across the ocean, they kept a lot of the same flora, which is the grass and trees. The major key differences are things like elephant grass in Africa, and where they have acacia, we grew gum leaves or eucalyptus. But as far as the grasses and things go, very similar or exacting to how these animals would have eaten. So their acclimation was very quick and very fast and non-painful, because it just felt like they were eating grass from home. Now, as promised, we are going to see some of these male ostriches. So this is usually what you would see in the storybooks. Nice silky black feathers with tips of white.
Do you see the ostrich?
Now, something else to note. This is Napoleon. He'll say hello in his very own special way.
বিভিন্ন প্রাণী।
Wouldn't suggest giving him your fingers. He might mistake them for worms. So as well as the ostrich cruising on the road here, you've got a couple of waterbuck around. There's one down here on the left-hand side, young female, and then up on the ridge here to the right is the rest of the family.
With the dumb bushes.
So again, like the Nyala, these guys like to hide out under the tree line, but also, as their name suggests, they use water as a bit of a protection. So being a water buck, they will hang out in small kind of swampy areas. They really love down in the mud wallows and the reeds.
So close.
It gives them a sense of protection, so if a predator manages to strike, they can kind of make their escape through the water. Now, being around water so much and having a long fur coat as they do, they adapted a kind of oil slick, like a water protectant, like what a duck has on its feathers. What's funny about that is it's pretty stinky. So if you're ever downwind of a water buck, you'll definitely know about it. So our current pace setter is another one of our ostrich boys in front, if you're wondering back there why we're going so slow. Amazing to see these things. He's going to get into a little bit of a trot, but amazing to see them at full pace. If you think about, you know, those two big, long, powerful legs, just only two toes at the bottom, they really kind of get grip. ostriches can run at about 60 to 70 kilometers an hour. Now, I did preface they are the fastest running two-legged animal, and that's because they say that our big red kangaroo can hop at a similar speed, but technically speaking, that's not running, is it? What's mad about that is when they're at those speeds and hopping, they say they can cover a length of about 15 meters per bound. So that's probably 2 jumps to cover this entire length of bus.
Well, you said, look.
Alrighty, Lower Savannah brings us some giraffe. Everyone say hi, giraffe boys. Our 6 boys are separated into 2 lots of 3. So our original giraffe anywhere between 15 and 17. The 3 younger boys between 2 and 4.
এরা মনে হয় প্রিমিয়াম গুলো কাছে যায় দেখে আর কি আমরা এরপরে আবার নিব না
We've also got some of our southern white rhinos. These are the 2 middle-aged ladies, Latava at the front and Cece up the back.
Do you see the rhino, Isa? Look.
Just last year, Cece became a grandmother when her daughter Kapenzi gave birth to a brand new baby southern white rhino. We're going to go and see if we can find them. So you've got a younger male waterbuck, you've got some of the male scimitar horned oryx who we met in arid zone, and also our zebra herd out there on the backside. We're going to do a full loop and head on back there as well, so we'll get a closer look at them. In the distance is what we consider to be the heaviest of all the antelope species on the planet. But they are also another African antelope. These guys are called eland. So they are the perfect adage of muscle weighing more than fat. They don't look that immense, but they can carry about 1,000 kilos in the big boys. If you think about our young giraffe boys standing at about 4.5 meters high, they're only about 11 to 1,200 kilos. So comparatively, very different size held in the muscle. So over here we've got Kapenzi. Unfortunately, she is blocking her little baby, but that is very, very natural protected behavior from the southern white rhinos. So Jabulani there behind Kapenzi is only a year old, but he already weighs in at about 730 kilograms. That's a pretty big 1-year-old, I'm sure you'll agree. Over there is great-grandmother as well. Her name is Marke. We're going to see her head poke out. Oh, yep. Can just see Jabulani's head behind his mum there as we round the corner. He's very cute. the zebra herd hanging out on this side of the savannah. Now, they are all part of the same herd, technically speaking, but they kind of break up into these family groupings, usually somewhat run by the dam or the mother, which is the mare who's given birth to them. Now, our zebra naming is pretty amusing. They usually use the first letter of the mum's name to name all of the children as well. So out there you'll see the Z family, headed by the mare Zadie. And she's had 6 foals, so I'm not going to run through all the Z names for them. Suffice to say, they are some pretty difficult African names. Very, very blessed. Alright, so that is our time on Lower Savannah. We're going to say goodbye to these big, beautiful animals and make our way back to the station. Get a little music here. See what we get.
আমাদের তো কাছে তো ইচ্ছা আমার মানে খাই